Hello guys, this is Anil from FICTION VFX STUDIO. Today we learn about simple cloth simulation in Blender. First of all, we open the Blender. I have a reference human model, so I use this model as a collision object for cloth. First add a plane and scale it according to your size, then go to Edit mode and select one edge and extrude it in the Z-axis, then select the middle edge and press Ctrl+B and bevel it. Give some more segments for smooth bevel. Then add another plane and scale it and move it in the Z-axis because it is our cloth. Then add a camera and press Ctrl+Alt+0 to place the camera as it is viewport showing. Then correct the camera rotations. Then place the camera as you need. Then go to the output properties and change the resolution to 1080 by 1920 for portrait view. Then click on render region and crop to render for rendering only the camera view and change the frame rate to 30 FPS. Then select the output folder where you render and change the file format PNG to FFmpeg video. And then change the frame range to 180. Then add an area light and rotate it for your desired place. Then add a point light and place it. Then add a sunlight for creating global light. Then adjust the plane according to your choice. Then change the render engine EV to cycle, CPU to GPU. I use the Turbo Render add-on, so I specify the cache location, and enable Turbo Render, then change viewport samples to 16, and render samples to 64, and enable Motion Blur. Then in film segments enable the transparent option. After adjusting all test how the render looks, for darkness and world properties, change the surface strength to 0. Then I change the plane for my desired size, then change the area light intensity to 1 and change the color of the point light to blue and intensity to 1000. Then in the material section assign a new material to the plane and metallic 1 and roughness 0.8. Then adjust the camera for animation. Give one keyframe in one frame by pressing I, and then move the camera and then give another keyframe. Then I find the Simply Cloth add-on that I installed from the Blender Market and click the human mesh and add collision, then click the plane and click on Create Simply Cloth, then click on the image and choose the Silk preset. Then after this, select the plane and go to Edit mode by pressing the Tab button in the keyboard, right-click there, and choose Subdivide and make the number of cuts 100. Then animate the human mesh for good results. Give one keyframe on frame 100, and then move the mesh in the Z-axis, and give another keyframe in the 180 frame. Then select both keyframes and change the interpolation to Bezier for a smooth transition, then change the end frame to 180, and bake the cloth simulation. After baking, here is our cloth simulation. But it has some mistakes. Here we don't give any cuts in the middle of the cloth, but it goes down of the head. Then click on Cloth Enhancement for some enhancement, and then click on Check Face Orientation for checking the orientation of the faces of the cloth. Here is another mistake. The face of the cloth is upward. It should be downward, so delete the bake and go to Force Properties, and in the Collision tab, enable Self-Collision, and again bake it. Now see, the cloth faces are downward because in that time the clothes aren't colliding with each other, but the head problem is still there. We will correct it later. Change the sun intensity to 5 and adjust the light to your desired place. Then change the cloth material into translucent BSDF and make the cloth smooth by pressing Shade Smooth in End panel, then adjust light and render one image to check how it looks. After it, delete the bake and select the plan and add collision, then click on the cloth plane, and under Object Collision, change the distance to 0.01 and click on Bake. After baking, the head problem is solved. Here, the face orientation is also good. After adjusting some lights, click on the human mesh and assign a new material. Change the metallic to 1 and the roughness to 0.8. For some extra details, I want the head of this mesh to be glowing, so for this, go to the Edit mode and change it into wireframe mode and select all head parts. Then in that head part, assign a new material, change the emission color to green, and change the emission strength to 50. For the animation of emission, give one keyframe to 0 at the 0 frame, and also in the 100 frame, and then in the 120 frame, one keyframe, and change the emission strength to 50, so the green emission is emitting slowly, and then in the Render tab, hit Still Render and check the render. Then, if you are satisfied with your results, click one render animation, and it will give you the animation in your file output folder. Now here is the final animation. And that's all, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more awesome content. See you in the next one.